today is how to build a simple yet effective rebar teepee trellis. It's particularly effective with beans because you don't have to do anything with the beans. You just get them started and they just grow up around the individual rebar pieces. So here's one we did a little earlier. I'm going to show you how we did that real quick. We're going to make a basin, and we're going to do a quick soil amending, and we're going to put the teepee up. Okay, the first thing we need to do is we have our center marker here. I'm just going to pound that in a little to get it a little stable. Then we're going to go, we want approximately a 2-foot diameter hole, so we're going to go here with a 1-foot radius. We're going to kind of sketch it out with our little trowel. Just get it close to about a foot. So we got some reference marks there, and that's pretty good. Okay. Then I like to leave this in to keep just to keep the center point kind of established while I do some excavating. So this is on a slope here, and so we're going to pull all our dirt out to the front, or most of it to the front and sides, so our basin will be able to hold water. We don't really need any in the back for this because it's on a slope, and we just need to retain the water on the front. If this was a level or a more flat surface, then you would want to keep your basin berm here equal all the way around. So I'm just going to excavate with the garden hoe here. That's all it is. Kind of use my lines as a reference point. Doesn't have to be too exacting. Just going to pull this out. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit deeper because we're going to just do a quick amending. Okay, I'm going to pull some out to the back too. It's okay. Okay, there we go. It's a little bit deeper than we need. Pull out your stake, your center marker. Then I'm going to add a couple of shovelfuls of compost. It's just compost. And my preferred soil amendments here. This is just some agricultural gypsum. I like to use that. A little bit of triple superphosphate. One of my favorites, alfalfa pellets. A couple of handfuls of that. Some bone meal. And this is just a balanced fertilizer. This is triple 16, just regular all-purpose fertilizer. Then just start mixing it in. Let's mix all your soil up. So the idea is we're going to bring the base soil up and we're going to drive the compost down. So we're just going to do it gradually. So the great thing about these rebar teepees is, for the space challenged gardener, you can grow your pole beans, which are beautiful and productive. You can grow some squash and cucumbers, where if you just typically let those grow on the ground, those take up a lot of room. So last year I grew some, for the first time, a butternut squash up these, and it worked great. With the squash and some melons and the cucumbers, you have to do an additional process. You have to tie on some horizontal string supports, and I'll show you how to do that in some future TP tutorials. I'm going to go through and show you how to do the beans and then those cucumbers and melons. So right now we're just going to show you how to do a quick soil amending and assemble the teepee. So add more compost. Compost is the most important thing. Just keep blending it in there. Okay, getting it nicely mixed, breaking up the chunks, a little more compost. So you can see we've added quite a bit of compost. We've softened up our dirt below. So we probably have a good 14 inches of amended soil down here. It's going to be great for beans and other climbing vegetables that we're going to do on our teepees. So let's get that all mixed up. All right, there we go. So we still have our amended soil here, and we still have a nice deep basin that we can fill up with water when we water, and that'll get a lot of water in there, so you won't have to water as much, it's also good for the plants to get a good deep watering and water less often. So that's perfect for that. Okay, now I'm just going to go through here and punch some little pilot holes for our rebar. I'm just going to do it in kind of a five pole star pattern here. So I'm going to do a quick punch our hole here, and then darn it, I don't have my rebar. Hang on. Okay, so have our so the teepee is of 5 10-foot pieces of rebar, and you can just get this at the Home Depot. I got these at the Home Depot. You can go to any preferred home center that you like. Obviously it doesn't have to be the Home Depot. You just push those in there, and I like to get them coming out like this a little bit, and when I gather them together I'll kind of show you why I like to do it like that. Okay. So I just get our 5 pieces of rebar in there. I'm just making it look harder than it really is. Also, it helps if the ground is moist when you put these in. If the ground's wet, these will go right in. So, like I said, it just looks a little harder than it is. I'm doing it here. We'll do 2 in the back here. So it doesn't have to be too precise. Just get your teepee up, and not going for complete perfection here, but if you can achieve it, extra credit. Okay, and okay, so they're kind of splayed out like this a little bit. Then get a bucket or a step ladder. You're gonna have to stand on something, and it's nice to have one of your friends to help you, because it's really hard to tell if your teepee trellises are plumb when you're right underneath it. trying to get them tied, gathered at the top. So let's do that. Oh, come on, drop the zip tie. All right. Okay. So you can play with how far down you want to gather them. They can come out dramatically at the top like that. I think that looks good. There's one that's a little bit less, but I like this, but I'll probably try to keep them similar in design. Okay, I'm gonna have Bryce tell me when this is plumb. What do you think, Bryce? That one's looking good? Okay, what about this side? Gotta get it from you gotta get it from two angles typically, from straight on and the side. So, okay, so we got this one straight up and down. And then you just get a zip tie. This is your basic black zip tie here. It can be clear, doesn't have to be black. I don't know why I'm having some hard times, difficulty with the zip ties today. There we go. A shorter zip tie would work too. We're gonna cut quite a bit of this off. So then you just gather it together and tie it with a zip tie, snug it down with a zip tie, and then snip off your tail here, and there you go. There's your simple yet effective rebar teepee. I think that one looks good. So in a couple of future videos, we're going to train some plants up these different kinds. So thanks a lot.